Hello and welcome to my channel again. Today I have a text about the Dolomites in the Italian Alps, and in particular this is about free bivouacs and shelters. I have visited Dolomites many times in the past. I was there last summer twice, and I stayed in a camping close to Cortina d'Ampezzo. So if you plan to go there and if you don't know the area, Cortina d'Ampezzo should probably be the city that you should keep in mind as a main center, which is exactly in the mountains. But this is not the most beautiful place in the Dolomites. There are more beautiful places in my view. Anyway, Dolomites are a very busy place. I read recently an article where they say that in 2022 more than 34 million people visited the Dolomites. There are many hotels, mountain huts and all sorts of buildings where you can have accommodation, but it can be difficult to find a place unless you book well in advance. So if you still want to go there and you decide this last moment and you don't have a place to sleep, you might want to consider these bivouacs and shelters that are everywhere. You will see them up. These are shelters and bivouacs, as I said, with some basic furniture inside. I would say there are, let's say, three typical types. One of them are alpine bivouacs, metal containers, typically in red color. Sometimes you will find them in yellow, and they are usually at very high elevations above tree line, but not always. Then there are also in these alpine bivouacs, just to say that you will always have beds and mattresses, and in many of them you will have also blankets and pillows. But it is always good to have your own sleeping bag with you. Sometimes you can even have a gas stove there, but again I wouldn't count on it. Then there are many wood or stone cabins and shelters that are built and maintained by local groups and enthusiasts, and many of them are below the tree line, and this means that in many of them you will have a wood stove or stufa, as they call it. But you cannot always count on that you will have wood. This can be early in the season, but later you may realize that there is no wood available. I know this from my own experience. I was there early in the season, in July, and visited some of these places, and of course wood was available. It was beautiful. You could have a fire and enjoy the night. But then I was there also in September and visited some of these places and realized that wood was not available at all. So, just to know. And the third group are I put actually two types here, caseras and military barracks. The term casera is not completely clear to me, but my understanding is that those are buildings from the past when people used to go to the mountains in summer with their animals, and they would stay there. But in modern times these places are empty, and they are now I would say rebuilt, or better to say equipped with some basic stuff so that the hikers can stay there overnight. And there are also military barracks at some places, and some of them are really spectacular, like this Bivacco Buffa di Perero, which is at 2,700 meters. The reason for them is that this was frontline during the World War I, and this was actually the border area between Austro-Hungarian Empire and Italy. So this particular that I'm showing here was ruined, and It was rebuilt by volunteers, and now it's a beautiful place, very high in the mountains. It's actually on Monte Cristallo, just to know. So here is the first map that I have created for you. It is zoomable. As you see, you can zoom out, and you see that there are 56 of them right now. But in time, there will be more. These are the shelters and huts that I was able to locate. And most of them, actually just a couple of them perhaps, are locked, and you have to collect keys somewhere in a nearby valley. But most of them are permanently open, and you can come and sleep there anytime. Actually, it's important to stress this fact. If you compare this with huts, for example, official huts, most of them are actually closed in winter, and they open late June, and they work till, let's say, middle of September, and they are closed after that. So if you want to come pre-season and post-season, you cannot find a place there. Not many of them have winter rooms, just to know, so you will not be able to sleep. And that's what makes these shelters and bivouacs more interesting, especially for people who want to avoid the top season and go there, let's say, early June or late September. So the map, as you see, you can zoom out, but you can also zoom in, and then each of these blue markers spread, and then you have bivouacs, all specific bivouacs, and each of them is actually clickable. For each of them, I typed in myself with 2 fingers. I typed the coordinates, and when you click, you will be, this works. When you click, you are directed to, in this case, to Google Maps, where you can have many pictures and some basic information about such objects. So I don't know, maybe I could show you some of them that are interesting. Let me go to okay, so this is Cortina d'Ampezzo, and if I go here, you see there are 2, Bivacco delle Pace. Interesting place, and as you see, when you click, you are directed to Google Map, and then there are pictures of this place, and you see also, for instance, this is what you have inside. So again, all these markers are clickable, and anyway, when you zoom into the map, you will see details and access routes, just to know what you can expect. I have also added another map with the regular huts that are here in blue, and the same shelters and bivouacs in red. And now you realize that if you see there are I think more than 140 or something like that in total, bivouacs and huts, and you see that huts actually they're located in the most attractive places in the Alps. Well, with good reason, this is a good business, but you still have bivouacs in between, and also on the I would say outer area of the Dolomites. So this is I wanted to include this map. For example, if you sleep in a shelter bivouac, you can plan perhaps to have meals in official huts if you don't have food and you don't carry it. So that's why I thought maybe it would be a good idea to give both of them, both types together. So I think this is all I wanted to say here. Just to mention that I have another text with some basic information about such bivouacs and huts throughout the Italian Alps, and I give here the picture with more than 300 of them that I located and put in a map, which is not published formally, but in this text I give pictures of some of them that can be incredibly beautiful. You see, this is one typical example of the red or orange, how you call it. I guess it's not red, it's more orange color. So this is a typical bivouac, alpine bivouac, which I visited. But there are also something like this. This is incredible place, Bivouac of Wirik, which is in the Italian Alps, close to Slovenia border. And I have a picture here actually from this particular. You see how it looks inside. Beautiful. This is maintained by a family. And there are other interesting places. Again, this is from other area. Another which is built on the front line from the material that was left there from the First World War. So this is all I wanted to say about this issue about bivouacs in the Italian Dolomites. The map will be updated. I shall add more when I find them. I don't think I shall find many. Regarding the bivouacs and shelters, I think I was able to collect practically all of them. But regarding the huts that you have here in the second map, this is a bit tricky, because sometimes you don't know what is hut and what is a family hotel. And there are no, actually, there is no much difference between them for many of them. Some of these huts are actually on the roads or accessible by lifts, and these are basically hotels. Not many of them are true mountain huts without car access. One great example is, for example, the hut that you have on Lake Sorapis. This is Refugio Vandelli. You see it here. Without road access to it, this is a true mountain hut, but many of them are actually, if you go around and click, you will realize these are more or less hotels, small hotels. And also there are many places with the name Malga, and they also offer accommodation, so you don't know should you include them in this map or not. So what you see here as blue markers are places that have the word refugio in the name, which means hut, but there are many more with that are called Malga, and where you can also stay. So just to know that this is not all that you can have there. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I shall have more of this stuff in the site. And well, give me a like if you find this useful.